The lift out bridge. When I first built this layout, I knew that I had to have a lift out bridge because I'm too old to crawl underneath. So I looked on the internet and I looked on the videos to see how to make one, but they were all very complicated for my limited skills. So I decided to devise my own method, which seems to work pretty well. I laid the track. I made sure that it was the track finished about 1/4 of an inch short of the gap. After that, I got a small piece of timber and screwed and glued it underneath the main baseboard. Then I cut a piece of timber for the bridge, which I lay across the two pieces, this side and this side, and then to hold it firmly in place, I put a little piece of timber here, a little piece of timber here on both sides of the gap. Can't actually show you the construction as I did it because it's already done. What I did next was I put cut the track to size, making sure that it just extended past the end of the piece of timber, so that it fitted on the end of the thing. I then put the piece of wood, imagine this piece of wood is just a bare piece of wood, and the track had the joiners on, and I joined it up, made sure everything looked okay. I couldn't have tested, of course, because there was no power to the tracks here. And then I pinned it in place, and after I'd pinned it in place, I put some screws in here and here, here and here, and here and here. You can't actually see them in places, they've been covered by the ballast. And so that everything was fixed in position. I then removed this board, removed the tracks, removed the connectors, the joiners, and then put the tracks back in exactly the same place, screwed it back in, put it back down, and again checked that everything had lined up. Of course, still trains wouldn't run across it because there was no power to it. So what I did then was I drilled small holes here, 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 and here and here, ran some thin wire through and soldered them just on this one side. I then got the pieces of wire, and I joined the pieces of wire together with a joiner. The reason for that was that if I need to take the bridge off to work on it, I can just disconnect them. Then I tested to make sure that the trains ran across it okay, which they did. After that I ballasted the thing, and I got the idea for ballasting from a terrific video by Forest Creek Railroad on YouTube, video 2, and it's a really easy method of ballasting, which was really good. Once I'd ballasted it, of course I let the trains run across to make sure they worked okay, which they did, and then I built this superstructure. I built it out of MDF, very thin MDF. I think it's 3 mils, I'm not quite sure, but anyway, the thinnest MDF. Cut it into strips and built this, stuck it together with glue, obviously. And just one word of warning on that, because both the entry tracks are on curves, I didn't take into account the fact that this piece of timber is too narrow. It's wide enough for the job, but it's too narrow for when a coach came around this hair, it would catch on the piece that was down here. So I had to remove that piece. Likewise on this side, the front of the big engines hit the piece that was going down there, so I had to remove that. So if you do a bridge, make sure you do the piece of timber wide enough, so if you have a curve approaching the bridge. And all I need to do when I want to exit the room is lift the bridge off, quite simply, and it goes on a hook under there, and then I can walk through. When I built the layout, I had easy access to all parts of it. But as time went on, I wanted a bit more. I enjoyed building the Metcalfe buildings and decided I wanted a bit more building and scenery. And anyone who watched my previous video would know that all my buildings are in modules. So what I did, initially, I had the church and the vicarage, or the gardener, the vicar doing the garden, sorry, not very coherent. Anyway, I then, I actually put those in, and then I built some houses. And as I said, they're on modules. So if I need to get, at some point, I'm going to have to get down to that far end and do some work on the goods yard and the engine sheds, because there's a lot of work still to be done there. So it's quite easy to get to that end. All I do is I take this module here, lift it off, and I pop it underneath, like so. I then get the church, lift it off, put it down there, like so, and then I can get closer, and if I want to do some work, I can lift this module up here, and pop it over there somewhere, lift this module here, put it somewhere else, who knows where, I'll have to find somewhere, put it on the floor, and then I have access to all of this area. So modules, I think, are the way to go if you have a layout and you want to extend it and you don't have a lot of actual room. By doing the modules, you can make room, and it's easy to do. That's about it for this video. I've had quite a few watching my first two videos, and for an amateur modeler, it's rewarding to know that people are having a look at your work, and hopefully they're enjoying it. Thank you.